Hey guys, CJ here with a brand new review of Grayson, and let me just, before I start, I apologize if it's harder to understand me in this episode. One half of my mouth is just horrendously swollen because I've got this infection stemming from a wisdom teeth issue, so if I slur my speech a little bit like I did just there, it's mainly on my S's. It's because my mouth just is fucking up right now. So without further ado, let's get started. So this time it's issue number 8, and the stakes are higher than ever for Dick and Helena. On the heels of last month's climactic showdown with the Brotherhood of Cain, Mr. Minos puts his devious plan into action. It's really interesting to note that it turns out that Mr. Minos is more of a evil Edward Snowden, Julian Assange type guy. I mean, this whole time that he wanted the secret information from these heroes, I for one believed it was for Spiral's gain. However, it seems that it was motivated by his own personal cause, vendetta, crusade, whatever you want to call it. He does make the mistake of trying to kill Helena, however, and in that way makes an enemy of Dick Grayson. So with Helena near death but alive, Grayson goes after Minos, who at this point has turned his attention to Agent 1, the guy in the turban. He sneaks up on him while he's praying. But one actually gets the drop on him, and as Grayson arrives, Minos reveals that he's got an ace up his sleeve, which is a revived Paragon. If you don't know who Paragon is, he's the super villain that's been around for decades that essentially has all the combined powers of the Justice League. This version has all the powers of the Justice League thanks to the meta organs. So this is probably the coolest scene in the book, actually, as it simultaneously looks really good thanks to Mikel Janin, makes sense thanks to the writing of Tim Seeley and Tom King, but also proves once and for all why Dick Grayson was the best Robin and why he is ultimately Batman's heir. Using the Justice League's weaknesses that he picked up from Bruce, he's able to take down the Beast when he realizes that because they didn't retrieve the heart, which was the Wonder Woman meta organ, Paragon isn't invulnerable, so he ends up capping his ass. Yes, Dick Grayson shoots someone, it's crazy. In the end, though Minos was ultimately never there in the first place, thanks to a little decoy madness, he ultimately meets his end at the hands of Agent Zero, a legendary deep-cover agent from Spiral whose identity has not been known before. We've never actually seen it. It might just be me, but I expect to be seeing a lot more of her in the future of the series. Honestly, my prediction is that she's going to take over Minos' role. Agent Zero is going to be Grayson's main adversary going forward. This is a major cock tease, though. I mean, we had all been wondering who Mr. Minos was. For 8 issues, we had been sitting there like, who the hell is this guy? And Zero kills him right as he's about to say it, right as he's about to reveal his identity. And it's just a dagger in the face that puts a quick end to all of the hopes that we had. So, some brief pros and cons here before we wrap up. Firstly, the art, as always, was excellent, particularly during the fight against Paragon. Mikel Janin, ladies and gentlemen, he's one of the best in the business as far as I'm concerned. Secondly, how Dick Grayson took down Paragon is the most perfect thing ever, as I mentioned. He's like the free version of the Batman app. I mean, he may not be as trained or as smart or as good at martial arts, but he is still Bruce's heir, as this issue indelibly proves. I mean, you get it. You get Dick Grayson, you get his relationship with Batman, you get why they work together. The only real con I have in this issue is, while great, it comes at an odd time in the course of the story. I mean, we just got right off the Brotherhood of Cain thing. I'm not really sure now was the best time to have Minos enact his secret plan and essentially leave the series. I mean, it feels a bit like it comes out of nowhere, because it does. I mean, but I mean, with Convergence coming up, that makes sense, and I'll talk about that more in a second. That aside, this was another excellent issue of Grayson, which continues to be my very favorite series out there by far, so I recommend that you all read it and pick it up whether or not you were fans of Dick Grayson before. You probably will be after you start reading this book. The saddest thing is, though, is that we're going to have to wait for June. We're going to have to wait until June for the next one, thanks to Convergence, although I'm sure Convergence is going to be great, and I'm really excited for it. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think of this issue? So that about wraps it up for me here. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.